and I'll lead those. Father, I want to thank you for your love and your mercy to us. I want to thank you that we live in the country that we live in with the freedoms that we have. We'll pray, Father, for our leaders, both in national leaders, our president and Congress, and our state leaders. Pray, Father, that you'll be with us this morning as we make decisions for the county, and that we will be honoring toward you. I ask all these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Second item on the agenda is call for citizens' input and/or concerns. Hearing none, we will consider and take action on agenda items 3 through 27. Number 3 is removal of cell phone allowance for regular employees effective 8/24/19 and elected officials 10/1/19.
Second.
Okay, so what's happened with this is we found I don't remember what the bill number was. You may remember, Bruce.
Senate Bill 944.
Okay, Senate Bill 944, they changed it, and effective September the 1st of this year, we are required to, anything that's done as far as county business is required to be logged and put in an archive. If it's text or any of that sort of thing, whether it's on your personal phone or whether it's on your county phone. And so it looks like the best way to handle this deal is to not do personal phones, do allowances anymore, issue a county phone, and then with Verizon, who we're looking at going with, they've got a service that can actually archive all that stuff automatically. And then, any county business you do it on a county phone. I would suggest that you probably ought not to do any county business on your cell phone, because then you are required by that law to, if you do county business on your personal phone, you're still required to log all that stuff. So that's why we've decided, rather than doing personal or doing the cell phone allowance, we will issue county phones for the people who have been getting an allowance. It means we'll have to carry 2 phones, so I don't like it. Been opposed to that kind of stuff for a long time, but just to me, I don't want to have to worry about if somebody texts me something about county business that I got to figure out how I'm going to get it all logged and archived. And so using a county phone and it's automatically done seems to be the best solution, and so that's what this is about.
Yeah, and one of the other things I think is important to be aware of is that the type of service that we're going to get is going to give us a more significant priority in the event of a period of time where we have emergency preparedness, connection communication. It does have some aspects through their network of what was comparable in some ways towards FirstNet. So it will give us a priority type of access in a high traffic, from what I understood in the presentation.
That was my understanding.
And I think that's also to our advantage.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second. Any more discussion? Sure.
Judge, I just heard the commissioner mention FirstNet. Well, that's an AT&T product.
Correct.
So, and I'm certainly interested in seeing that all of the people in our organization that will be carrying a phone for business be on AT&T, because FirstNet is a dedicated network for public safety. And so, I heard you mention Verizon, but there's no way to take advantage of the FirstNet services unless you're an AT&T carrier.
I think we contacted both, and the response from Verizon was much quicker, much more in depth. They gave us solutions, and AT&T just.
AT&T, but FirstNet is only available through AT&T.
Well, it's not exactly FirstNet.
Well, FirstNet is a,
It's not exactly, but there are services that
well,
FirstNet provides.
you're either on the dedicated public safety network or you're not.
You're right.
And in the case of AT&T, FirstNet, if a public servant carries that phone and is on FirstNet, then if you know, we have a major event and the system gets blocked, public safety has priority. Not only priority, it's preemptive on AT&T only. It will not be available under Verizon.
Charles, you,
As I understand it, Verizon does have the priority preemption service as well.
They say they do, but AT&T is building out band class 14 for public safety. And once that's built out, which they anticipate to be completed in 3 years, it'll be a completely dedicated network for public safety. But AT&T is the only provider.
And that, we understood the presentation, share that our special needs are met by Verizon, and we're gonna try Verizon.
I think that's okay for anybody as a county employee, except for those that are public safety providers. They will not have availability of that network if they're not on AT&T. And I would encourage the court to find a way to at least allow the sheriff's office and the constables and to be able to carry AT&T devices.
Well, we thank you and we respect you. AT&T did not provide the services that the county needed overall, and Verizon does.
You know,
For the purposes
I
of the law.
appreciate your comments, but we're headed in the wrong direction.
All right, we'll take that under advisement,
okay,
and we appreciate you.
all right. Thank you, Sheriff. We got a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carried. Number 4 is request from the Expo Complex for payment authorization for Phillip Ranch in the amount of $750 for cattle for the state 4-H horse show. Purchase order was not obtained in advance.
Move approval.
Motion made, seconded. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 5 is request from the Expo Complex for payment authorization to the Mango in the amount of $2,000 for cattle for the state 4-H horse show. Purchase order was not obtained in advance.
Second.
Motion made, seconded. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 6 is request from Risk Management for payment authorization to Wayne Kellum in the amount of $250 for the damage to his residential brick mailbox. Purchase order was not obtained in advance.
Move second.
Motion made, seconded. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 7 is approval of the issue of a Brazos County Diners Club credit card to the Sheriff's Office for Deputy Marshal Michael Stump with the limit of $1,000 for travel expense.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion made, seconded. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 8 is approval of an increase to the Sheriff's Office employee Garrett House. Issued the Brazos County Diners Club card limit of $1,000 to $5,000. The increase will help employees with travel expense.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion made, seconded. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 9 is approval of the following job description.
Second.
Motion made, seconded to approve A. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? None motion carries. Number 10 is interlocal agreement with Bryan Independent School District for the Read by Third program for FY 2019.
Move approval.
Everybody wants to approve that.
Yeah, it's a great
I'll
program.
just
Yeah.
stop
It
for a
is.
second.
Motion made and a couple of times and seconded. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 11 is acceptance of 2019 Burn Jag Program Award.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 12 is approval of a memorandum of understanding between Brazos County Detention Office and Unbound BCS for a non-financial agreement to provide human trafficking awareness and prevention education programs and to facilitate referrals for individuals that may be victims of human trafficking.
Move approval.
Motion made and seconded. I think, did you want?
I would like to present just a brief statement.
Okay, sure. Come on.
Thank you so much, I appreciate that. Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Commissioners. My name is Amanda Binger. I am the Executive Director of Unbound Bryan College Station. Okay, thank you. I briefly wanted to just share a little bit about what we do. We're a national and international organization that mobilizes local communities to fight human trafficking. And we do that through a multitude of different ways. We focus heavily on prevention awareness and professional training, and then we also provide survivor advocacy. And what that looks like is providing case management and safety planning for victims who come into our care. We've been in existence for about 8 years now. We started locally here about 2. We do trainings all over the community. In the last year and a half, we've trained thousands of people in our community, whether it's businesses, nonprofits, churches, other organizations. We've also trained professionals who interface with victims. So we work with law enforcement. I think I'm loud enough, you can hear me. I'm trying to stay away from the mic. We also work closely with law enforcement, county attorney, district attorney's office, and so the sheriff's office is here today. We've had a wonderful partnership with them. We are starting a program with the sheriff's office and the detention center, and it basically will provide education and awareness to women who are coming and transitioning out of incarceration through the reentry program. And what Unbound will do is educate these women on the vulnerabilities of human trafficking, how it's happening in our community, what are some of the things that they should be aware of, and the red flags when they're transitioning and getting back on their feet. Human trafficking is an abuse of power. It's an exploitation on vulnerabilities. And so these women, as they're transitioning out of incarceration, certainly have vulnerabilities that traffickers could exploit. In addition to providing education and awareness for these women as they're transitioning out of incarceration, we will also be providing case management and safety planning if they are a victim of human trafficking. We've already had a case example of this where there's been an amazing collaborative effort between law enforcement, the county attorney's office, and Unbound. A woman came into the detention center. She was charged with prostitution. Law enforcement was concerned that she was potentially a victim of human trafficking. They asked Unbound to come into the detention center. We interviewed this young woman. We realized that she actually was in fact a victim of human trafficking. Based on that fact and that new information that Unbound was able to obtain from her in a trusted relationship, we were able to go back to the county attorney's office, work with the sheriff's office, work with law enforcement. We were able to transition her out of incarceration and into a safe home to get back on her feet and stabilize and get the resources and the services that she needs. This is the type of picture that this program is going to allow. It's going to allow women who are incarcerated, maybe for a prostitution charge, maybe not. A lot of times when human trafficking happens, they get picked up with charges related to the trafficking because they're forced to abuse drugs, they're forced to sell sex, various reasons. And so it allows us to have build a trusted relationship with these women in the detention center and really figure out what's going on, what's the story behind why these women are here. And it will allow us to provide them resources for long-term healing and transition in the next phase of their life. And so we're really confident that this program is going to be effective in our community. We've already seen it be effective. We do know that there is trafficking happening here. There's a direct correlation between the increase in prevention and awareness training happening in the community and identification of victims. The more we're training, the more we're getting the word out and the knowledge about what human trafficking actually looks like, we're seeing a significant uptick in the identification of victims. Just in the last 2 months, Unbound has worked with 7 or 8 victims of human trafficking identified right here in Bryan College Station. And that's a direct correlation to the education and the understanding of how this is happening. And so Unbound is really confident in this program. We're really grateful for Sheriff and for his team for grateful for the detention center. We're also in the juvenile detention center, so we work with juvenile youth who are incarcerated, and we do the same type of program. We give education and awareness programs to them and also provide resources for them as they transition into the next place. So that's a little bit about our program. I don't want to take too much of your time, but would ask that the memorandum of understanding be approved and that we could continue on with this program.
I have a question, please.
Yes, ma'am.
My question, I have actually two questions. Do you collaborate with any other organizations? You mentioned juvenile, and I applaud you for that, the sheriff's department, but other sexual abuse programs that we have locally?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you getting
Yes, ma'am.
cooperation?
Yes.
Is there collaboration?
Yes, ma'am. We work closely with SARC. We also work with Scotty's House, depending on the level of the victim. So we rely heavily on the SARC advocates because they're the first responders oftentimes into the hospital, and if they're trained and educated on what human trafficking looks like, we can rely on them to connect us if it's potentially a trafficking victim. We work closely with CPS. We work closely with the VA's office. I'm also a child welfare attorney in town. I run a law practice and represent a lot of youth who are going through CPS and in the state's custody, so I'm also very integrated in the community in terms of working with service providers, working with the district attorney's office, working with juvenile probation, working with the detention center. But Unbound is very collaborative in its nature. We cannot do it on our own. Dependent on other service providers in the community to provide resources in addition to us.
I certainly agree. And I noticed that you mentioned your services to females. Females are not the only victims.
That's correct.
And is there a program that addresses the males, or do you address males that you find?
We certainly provide services to male victims of human trafficking. We are not discriminatory on that. I should have been more clear on that. We provide services to both male, female, youth, minors, and adults.
That's good.
We are working on more mentorship programs for men in the detention center and in the juvenile detention center. And we also do provide some information on pornography in most of our trainings and eradicating the demand for this issue. And so we are increasing awareness in that regard, and we will be focusing more of our efforts on providing education on stopping the demand and the overlap of pornography and a sexualized culture on this issue.
Great, and thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for the work you do. Much
Yeah.
appreciated. We have a motion.
All right, Sheriff, you want to?
Yeah, it's only to say that we support the program. We have that at-risk population in our jail.
Yeah.
The idea that we could provide awareness and then help for those that need it is a win-win, I think, and we support the program.
Okay, thank you.
And Judge Juvenile also supports the program, and, you know, we do have those issues. We have a young lady right now that we're trying to place and having some difficulty, and so, anyway, but yeah, we very much support the program, and I believe they've been with us for a few years, but we had traffic 911 prior to that, so we've had a program for a long time.
Great,
Okay,
thank you.
thank you, Lynn. All right, we've got a motion and a second. Any
Yes, sir.
more discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 13 is award of RFP 19-097 for electronic medical records recommendation award to Correct Tech.
Move approval A and B.
Second?
Motion made and seconded to approve A and B. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 14 is approval of contract 20-009 with LexisNexis for the district attorney.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 16 is approval of agreement 20-029 with Smarsh for cell phone texting archiving services.
Move approval.
Well,
I think
withdraw
we missed 15.
Did I miss 15? I am sorry, I checked the wrong one. Okay, well, let me go back to 15 then. Approval of contract dash 20-030 019 for copier maintenance with Texas Document Solutions.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 16 is approval of agreement 20-029 with Smarsh for cell phone texting archiving services.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 17 is approval of FWP Holdings LLC utility permit to install a temporary 10-inch polyurethane water line within and along the right-of-way of Old Alliance Road, distance of 3,900 foot. Project will provide water to an oil well. Site's located in precinct 2.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 18 is approval of the FWP Holding LLC utility permit to install a temporary 10-inch polyurethane water line in and along the right-of-way of Dillashaw Tap Road, a distance of 6,200 feet, and Wilcox Lane, a distance of 3,600 feet. Project will provide water to an oil well. Site located in precinct 2.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 19 is approval of the Wixon Creek Special Utility District cost estimate of $13,600 to relocate for relocation of 380 feet of 4-inch water line to accommodate the installation of bridge number 3 on Dick Elliott Road, sites located in precinct 2.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 20 is approval of the Wixon Creek Special Utility District cost estimate of $19,400 for relocation of 320 feet of 8-inch water line and 1 meter to accommodate the installation of a bridge on bridge number 2 on Dick Elliott Road, sites located in precinct 2.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion made, seconded. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 21 is expenditure journal entries, 0800-48 through 0800-54. Motion made and seconded. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 22 is tax refund application for the following.
Move approval A through D.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to approve A through D. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Budget amendments. Budget amendments FY 18/19, 46.1 through 46.8, but we need to change the amount on 46.7 was originally was $9,000, but it needs to be $4,900. It's a correction.
Move approval with the noted correction.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to approve budget amendments with the correction of 46.7 to $4,900. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 24, personnel change of status.
Move
Approval.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 25 is payment of claims. Claim to be paid by Brazos County, claim number 8017989 through claim number 8018219.
Move approval.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion. All in favor say aye. Opposed? None motion carries. We're going to skip down to number 28, Juvenile Director's Report on Detention Population. Linda.
Judge and Commissioners, we have 34 youth in detention at the present time, 27 males, 7 females. 3 of those are contract kids, 1 from Limestone County and 2 from Robertson County. And we have 19 on electronic monitoring. Thank you.
Thank you. Number 29, Sheriff's Report on Inmate Population. Sheriff.
Judge, Commissioners, I have 672 in jail, 574 are males, 98 are females. We have 47 with electronic monitors and 19 pending.
Okay, thank you, Sheriff. Number 30 is an announcement of interest items and possible future agenda topics.
Yes, we have a lunch and learn next week on the 26th. Michelle Mead will be talking about preparedness for disaster, so mark your calendars and please attend.
Okay.
And I want to bring up the discussion of hazardous pay for commissioners. I am not happy to report that on yesterday, as I was reviewing a situation on county roads, a friendly dog appeared and peed all over my slacks. I've never had this happen, but I want to report that it's not pleasant. I had to go home and rebathe and change clothes, and I'm burning the pants. So I think we should be compensated when these unusual things happen.
Judge, I'd like to place an item on a future agenda item that we reimburse Commissioner Cawley for her slacks, and if there's an opportunity to do pain and suffering, I would also ask that that be considered.
We'll take that into consideration then.
Just wait till it happens to you.
I hope it never happens to anybody else.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know why I had to be first. It's been a long history.
And the number 31 is call for citizens' input and/or concerns.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. As we were wrapping up agenda item number 12, I had gotten a hold of my audio-video guy and made some adjustments to this sound system. Apparently, the microphones out here above the audience were, to use his terminology, very hot. So it was picking up noise and providing feedback for that podium. So
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you, Eric. Any other citizen input and/or concerns? Hearing none, we'll go back to 26 and convene an executive session pursuant to the Texas Government Code 551.071 to consult with an attorney about a pending contemplated litigation and/or settlement offer. And Commissioners and Candy and certainly the attorneys. Do we need anybody else in there, Bruce? Do we need anybody else in there, Bruce, besides the attorneys, Candy, and Commissioners?
Not unless Trudy's here. No, that'd be enough.
Okay. And the time is 10:28.
SGI. I don't know if it was for like permanent.
You ready, Candy?
Yes.
Okay, we're back out of executive session. It's 10:47. I think there's action to be taken.
Yes, Judge, I'd like to move that we engage Allison Bass, attorneys at law, and authorize the judge to sign retainer agreement.
Second.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any more discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Next item is to adjourn.